Hello and welcome back to the second tutorial where we'll be looking at and exploring Imperial Japan's peace initiatives, this time through Portugal. Now we're going to be examining an OSS report where it will reveal Imperial Japan's, although unofficial and perhaps under the table, but peace initiatives in order to try to end the Pacific War of 1945. So unlike previously, we looked at Imperial Japan's peace initiatives unofficially through the Vatican City. That was in our first tutorial. Today's tutorial in part 2 will be solely concentrating on Imperial Japan's peace feelers through Portugal. Now the report that we'll be looking at was actually forwarded on to the US ambassador to Portugal and then further up to the chain to the president himself. So let's get straight into it, where we'll be examining this very OSS document. Okay, so welcome back. Let's get straight into examining this OSS report. So this is the OSS report, a memorandum by the Acting Secretary of State to President Truman, Washington, June the 2nd, 1945. So by examining the document in front of you, we can see there was some perhaps unofficial peace initiatives going on behind the scenes from Imperial Japan's side. As the document shows, the actual Chancellor of the Japanese legation, Masutaro Inoue, actually tried to contact some American representatives at the time, stating that the Japanese were in fact ready to cease hostilities, provided they were allowed to retain possession of their home islands. Okay, so there was an intention there on part of Imperial Japan to perhaps seek a peaceful solution to this war, as long as they could keep possession of their home islands, referring to Honshu, Kyushu, and Hokkaido. Now looking at the second paragraph there, it goes on to say actually that Inoue actually declared that actual peace terms were unimportant so long as the term unconditional surrender was not employed. Unconditional surrender was a major sticking point at the time because it did not actually stipulate the position of Emperor Hirohito. What would his position be in any unconditional surrender term? So this was a major sticking point at the time. But interestingly, if you go back to the first paragraph, once again, it does mention that Japan was ready and willing to seek a peaceful solution to this conflict, as long as they could retain their home islands, okay, as Inoue stressed, okay. And also very revealing the fact that the actual surrender terms were not really that important as long as the unconditional surrender terms was not employed, because as I mentioned, the unconditional surrender terms at the time stipulated by the United States did not really clarify the position of Emperor Hirohito, who was seen as a godlike figure at the time amongst the Japanese population, and was obviously chief of staff of the armed forces and head of the government. So I thought this was quite revealing. Some unofficial peace initiatives actually were undertaken in Japan by the Chancellor there, Masutaro Inoue, to Portugal, and he actually contacted various US officials at the time and relayed this information to them, and subsequently who then relayed the information to President Truman. So President Truman was aware of these unofficial, under the table peace initiatives being undertaken in Portugal, in conjunction with what actually happened in the Vatican earlier on in the year, with unofficial peace feelers being initiated, which we discussed actually in our first tutorial. So okay, great, thanks again for listening, and we'll have a look at a third document next. Take care and see you later.